So I want to take a moment to talk about happiness and what it means. There's some people who regard it as the ultimate. They ask you, whatever you're doing, are you really happy doing what you're doing? Well, in order to answer that question, in order to have a conversation about this, in order to have a conversation about anything, actually, we have to speak the same language. What do I mean? Both of us have got to make sure that we have the same definitions of the words that we are using. That's just common sense, but I'm still clarifying it because happiness, a lot of people's immediate association of the word happiness is this blissful, joyful, enthusiastic state of being, smiling and laughing. Place where I live here in Denmark, it's been regarded as one of the happiest countries in the world numerous times, certainly among the top five. Finland, Iceland, perhaps slightly better, but when you go out into the public, when you go out into the street, you don't exactly notice people smiling and laughing. Even in social circles, it can be very limited, and some may find that it requires a bit of work in order for them to loosen up, if that's the right term. But this whole idea, this whole title, the happiest countries in the world, is based on something called the Global Peace Index. It's a different discussion altogether. They measure all the countries in the world on different metrics, safety being one of them. The fact that you get paid decently, have a good work-life balance, regardless of any kind of labor that you do, free healthcare, free education, things like that. So, more accurate word for it, I would say, is contentment, being satisfied with your life circumstances. But, that aside, if you have this idea, if you believe that happiness is what you should be chasing, happiness is the state in which you should be in at all of most of your waking hours, well, I'm here to tell you that that is very much a flawed idea. That is not attainable on very short term, because the thing is with happiness, it is a hormone in your brain that gets released in a certain quantity when you have a certain experience. That is essentially what happiness is, dopamine. I'm not a neuroscientist by any means. So when you are having fun, when you hear a joke, and you feel that dopamine rush, so to speak, the next time you hear that joke, or the third or fourth or fifth time, it's not going to be as funny. It sort of loses its potency with repeated exposure. So this was the thrill that you felt right here, and next time it's been pushed. So you got to try something new in order to feel that same level of thrill. So you start exploring other avenues. You start mocking people. You start pranking people. I'm not encouraging you to do that, but some people find it very powerful, very funny. You start having, big parties. Perhaps you start drinking. You start exploring drugs. Pretty exhilarating. Some may find it. If you are not careful, it can be pretty dangerous, and it's been countless of examples where it's going to lead to your own demise if you're not careful, this hedonistic pursuit. So what I would say to you is, instead of happiness, you should aim for the feeling of fulfillment. And what is the difference? What is fulfillment actually? Fulfillment is the same thing as happiness. Not so much, I would argue, and I will elaborate on it. Fulfillment is much more meaningful, much more long-lasting, gratifying, and gives you peace and solace within your soul. And some may say, fulfillment for me is being with my children. Another person may say, well, fulfillment for me is the fact that I get to paint. Fulfillment for me is writing, or whatever it may be. People have different interpretations of it. But if I were to give you an analogy, just to give you a sort of a feeling, you felt this before, I'm sure. It's something pretty relatable. That is, the feeling of fulfillment feels like when you have done something very challenging and demanding. You've exerted yourself for an extended period of time. You've done something almost excruciating, something you thought you couldn't do. Complete a marathon, having an ultra night shift, Uh, what else could it be? Something very demanding. And when it is finally over and you get to rest, that is fulfillment. That is fulfillment. When you finally get to rest and you are totally at ease and you are aware and all of your senses are almost in sync and you've reached a new level of clarity. You're totally and completely present. Much more potent, much more meaningful, as I said. So this ties into another thing, actually. So I'm kind of going on a different trajectories here, maybe a little bit. It ties in with having a purpose, working on towards something, which is extremely important in your life. You have to have a purpose. You have to have meaning. If you do not have meaning, if you do not have something that you are aiming for and working towards, you're going to find it, you're going to struggle with a sense of emptiness, I guess. And regardless of what your goals are, regardless of your life circumstances, where you're coming from, your upbringing, your personality, your strengths and your weaknesses, you may see somebody, as a role model. He's living the dream life. He's living the life on his own terms. He shows what he does on a day-to-day basis. This is his lifestyle. This is all the fancy stuff that he has. This is my morning routine. I get to have this breakfast and these supplements. Sometimes I watch it myself, I wonder how many of those viewers, you delineate your lifestyle. You show it in detail, but how many of them are actually of the viewers are actually able to copy it? What are their life circumstances? A lot of them are going to have to compromise on certain things, are going to have to prioritize on certain things, because, make no mistake, it is a rare individual that gets to have everything to their own liking. They gets to have this at that time, whenever they want it. We have jobs. Like I said, I do not know you, but you have certain challenges. You may be working. You have family to take care of. You simply cannot just duplicate it as that. So my message to you essentially is you're going to have to conduct a thorough analysis. You're going to have to step away at times. Allow yourself to retreat and look at the canvas that is your life. Look at the full picture. Okay, if I want to go there, if this is my end goal, and this is my life, and I can only dedicate that much resources, that much time to this goal, it is not going to be optimal, but it is going to be better. It is going to be better. And that is why I am generally not too big of a fan of people subscribing to other people, successful people showing their glamorous lifestyle. It's okay to feel inspired. It's okay to feel motivated. But I gotta be honest with you, there are times where I do not even want to give people hope with their ambitions. I'm not a pessimist by any means. I'm a realist. And if I can see your life situation, how you are as a person, and your circumstances, and where you want to go, I can just clearly see your life trajectory. If you continue to be the person that you are, something has to drastically change in order for your goal to become a reality. But if a person is relentless, if he does persevere, he never gives up, he continues to work, he continues to improve, he continues to move closer to his aim, that is the kind of person I feel more appropriate in motivating. If a person comes to me at the age of 25 and says he wants to be an NBA professional basketball player, says he wants to be a chess grandmaster, says he wants to be a professional soccer player, a musician, be super wealthy, And I see what he's been doing up until now. And I see the upcoming, and I get to see the upcoming days and weeks and months. If it isn't to a certain level, if he does not have a certain level of accuracy and conscientiousness, a lot of these things that I've just mentioned require a certain degree of precociousness. You've got to be naturally, you've got to be naturally gifted. Chess grandmasters, they're discovered at a young age. Professional soccer players are discovered at a young age. NBA players are discovered at a young age. You have to have a certain level of a certain natural ability. This may seem a bit discouraging. Is there no hope for you? Certainly there is hope. The hope is just endless work and improvement. You may not be the next professional golfer, the next golf champion, or the next weightlifting champion, whatever it may be. But you can improve. You can improve, and you can explore, and you can unlock new potential within yourself. You can become a better person. And from this one activity, being totally immersed in one thing, you can get to know the knowledge which you're going to obtain is going to extrapolate into anything in life. So you're going to become a more capable person when you try to master one thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though you may not make it your way of living, sadly, for many people. But it's just the reality of the world. It's an extremely competitive world. It's only going to get more competitive. So, my message to you, I guess, is, as I said, allow yourself at times, every day I would say, to retreat and reflect and quantify your life. You say, so these are my days, these are my weeks. How was it spent? All of my waking hours, was it spent wisely? Did everything that I do contribute to my end goal? If not, well, waste no time on it. Everything should contribute to your end goal. And it all starts with knowing yourself. And you certainly cannot get to know yourself if you do not spend time with yourself, if you do not allow yourself to sit in silence. As somebody who said, I recently read a quote, all of humanity's problems, I do not know who said this, some French philosopher, I think, stems from a man's inability to sit quietly in a room for himself. Well, I think there is some truth to it. Not to be taken with a grain of salt, I think. But I'm more of a fan. I like people who document their journey, who show the unfiltered side. And that is the reason why I take the initiative to do this, to record myself, because it is a healthy thing to do. It allows for reflection. I can take this with me. I can look back at it and say, okay, this is how I conducted myself. This is what I said, and this is the manner in which I said it. Could my message be enhanced? I would definitely encourage you to do that. But anyway, thank you for watching this video.